in July of 2005 while escorting a convoy from Baghdad International Airport to Camp Cuervo. I was taking pictures in the gunner's hatch. I tucked my camera away, turned my head to the right, and then I saw the brightest, most brilliant white light. Everything around me was white. I was completely encompassed for a fraction of a second in white. Thought I was dead. The back of my head hit the plate in my armor as my back slammed into the other side of the gunner's hatch. Then the world was orange. For a moment, the loudest noise I've ever heard in my entire life. Then silence. Then brown. The ringing starts. I can't hear. The roof of my mouth is numb. I can feel my fingers. I'm alive. I stumbled when reaching for the 50. I grabbed the handles and started scanning for the son of a bitch that just tried to kill us. Nothing. My vision was blurry. I had to tell myself, don't shoot. You don't have a target. I start to flex each muscle group to make sure all of me is still here. I was still scanning for a target. I feel pain in my right thigh. I'm dragged inside the vehicle. My team chief grabbed me by the leg and pulled me in. His mouth was moving. I heard nothing but the ring. The driver looked over me in total shock. I learned later that he felt the heat on his leg through the armor. This is my best friend. He thought I'd died. My chief gave me the okay sign and pointed at me. I gave the same response and pointed at my headset and shook my head no. I stood back up in the gunner's hatch. The next sight was the second worst thing to see in Iraq. We were cut off from the convoy. Right after the explosion, morning traffic just started pouring in. My first thought, all of them knew. We had to catch up. Then the most wonderful sound I ever heard. Radio chatter. McCormick's checking in with the convoy. I can hear it. It's fuzzy. I let them know I'm back up. We're screwed, but I can see the convoy. We're cut off. McCormick says, screw it, fire some rounds in the air. The cars had us cut off. I fired, traffic won't move. A white Caprice Classic slammed into the back of the vehicle. I turn with my M4 still shouldered. I see the driver. I pull the trigger. Nothing. No click. Nothing. What I thought was a couple of rounds was the whole magazine. I had to calm down. The driver had his hands up. I think he knew he almost died. A few bumps. We're back in. Traffic had opened up. We're back in them with a convoy. The IED was placed just under the asphalt. It absorbed most of the shrapnel. We just got the blast. The vehicle that was in front of us said there was just a huge ball of smoke. This explosion. And a Humvee just come riding out of it. An all too familiar sight. A small white flash. Part of the brilliant white light I'd seen earlier in Iraq, but smaller. On the vehicle in front of me, reservoir dog's been hit. The tire blew straight up from the vehicle. I seen it in the air. As it caught my eye, so did an F-15 that was coming over for air support. I know it wasn't this way, but I swear the tire went up as high as the F-15. They were at similar altitudes. The bird went bang to come back around. The back of the convoy was getting hit. I was screaming for the gunner to get back up. I couldn't see him. The vehicle wasn't moving. The radios were silent. Nothing was going on. Nobody was coming up. I kept yelling, screaming, the gunner's first name, Mike, over and over again. The next day, I could barely speak. Eventually, something comes over the radio. Personnel and reservoir dog, everyone's good. No injuries. Now we have to recover this vehicle. We are not in a good place.
This road I've been traveling down, well, it makes you feel alone. Bumpy songs nobody wants to hear, well, it takes its heavy toll.
In the fall of 2009, the 1st of the 178th Field Artillery Battalion, the Swamp Fox Battalion, left for Fort Stewart, Georgia to start training for a mission to Afghanistan. Our mission was to provide security forces to the Provincial Reconstruction Team in the RC East. My destination was 5 Ghazni. We trained at Fort Stewart during the fall and was able to be with our families on Christmas. After Christmas, in January of 2010, we left for Camp Atterbury, Indiana, to meet up with the unit that we were going to be protecting in Ghazni, Afghanistan. My name is Matthew Stone. I grew up in the Fountain Inn area of South Carolina in Greenville County. I am 50 years old currently, and I was 38 years old when I deployed to Afghanistan, which was my 3rd deployment, 2nd with the 1st to 178th. My first deployment was to Somalia with the United States Marine Corps in 1992-1993. I was an engineer in the United States Marine Corps for 4 years, leaving in '94. I went into the South Carolina National Guard in the year 2000 and deployed to Iraq in 2004 and 2005 with the 1st 178th to do convoy security. I also was on the Honor Guard for the South Carolina Military Honors Program. We did military funerals, even did an appearance on the TV show Army Wives, and then I deployed to Afghanistan in 2009 or 2010. We started the deployment in 2009 in the fall at Fort Stewart, and then went on to Camp Atterbury, and then eventually on to Ghazni, Afghanistan. Fort Stewart, a place we know all too well, the swamp. We were going down there Monday through Friday, getting to come home on the weekends, about 4.5 hours away. Come back, hit the ranges, take classes, do some administrative, medical work, more ranges, some more classes, get out in the woods, do some land nav, so we can go to Camp Atterbury, Indiana, and go to more ranges and take some more classes. First, the 178th Field Artillery, our unit, part of the 218th Infantry Brigade. We're an artillery battalion. We had already deployed to Iraq in 2004 and 2005, and some of our guys had went on the brigade's deployment in 2008 over to Afghanistan already. But like I said, we're an artillery unit about to do a security forces mission, which is an infantry mission. A little different from what we're used to, but those of us that have been to Iraq kind of used to doing something a little different. Like I said, Fort Stewart was mostly ranges and classes, and our unit kind of gelling together. Monday mornings, pack up in the truck, go out to the field, do ranges, classes, come back and hang out at the barracks. Here's a quick tour of the barracks to give you an idea. back to training. A lot of stuff we'd done before, a lot of stuff we knew, a lot of stuff we didn't. We learned a lot of new things. I taught a lot of classes on different weapon systems, crew serve weapons, getting the guys ready. A friend of mine had been over in 2008, my best friend from the Marine Corps. I was talking to him as much as I could, trying to get an idea of what we're getting into, what Afghanistan was like. Joey would tell me the truth. He'd let me know everything. Let me introduce you to Sergeant Sean Hill. He served in Iraq with the 1st and 178th Field Artillery. He came home and in 2008 volunteered to deploy with the brigade to go over and do a mentor mission in Afghanistan. He didn't come home. Sergeant Hill was loved in our battalion. I thought highly of him. I was on the honor guard and did his funeral service on the firing party, one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. A lot of guys in the battalion that knew him. Maybe this was our chance for a little payback. All the training in Fort Stewart, Georgia had come to an end. It was time to head out, pack everything up, everything we learned on all the ranges, the classes, everything we had learned for a couple months at Fort Stewart in the fall. We're now heading to Camp Atterbury, Indiana. After a brief Christmas vacation, January 4th, we were headed to Camp Atterbury, Indiana. And it was cold. It was very, very, very cold. There we met up with the unit that we're going to be protecting. Mostly Navy, but some civil affairs from the Army Reserve and some Seabees. We were there to train with them, but our main mission was to protect them and meet our command. Commander Kapusta, a Navy SEAL, was our commander. Our first sergeant, or Senior Chief Anthony Efrati, Navy SEAL at Team 3. We were training to protect a unit that was led by 2 Navy SEALs. I was a little confused, really confused. We were training for the Preventional Reconstruction Team. This was going to be a little different. This was going to be a lot different than anything I'd ever done before. Footsteps in the snow. Something heard all the time at Camp Atterbury, Indiana. Our MOB station. Here we're going to train and get ready for the upcoming deployment to Ghazni, Afghanistan. It was cold, it was icy, it was snowing the whole time. While at Camp Atterbury, we started our training pretty much within the next few days. We hit the ground running. The barracks was a little cramped, but we were used to it. We're artillery. We spend time in guns. Classes after classes, ranges after ranges, classes after classes, and ranges after ranges, over and over again. Different lanes, IED training, all sorts of stuff getting us ready to go over. More ranges. This place was crazy. It was cold. We were learning a lot of us Iraq vets. Mind-blowing. Paid actors to come out to act like civilian populace in Afghanistan. This was some good training. During base defense training, I was assigned to the personnel search area with Petty Officer Matei. She was a young lady from the Northeast. I thought highly of her after speaking with her. She had deployed to Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, as a Master of Arms in the Navy. She was basically a detention officer. Some of the things she told me sickened me, of how the female guards were treated by the detainees, terrorists.
It was worse than the inmates in the United States treated the female officers, but I didn't let her know that. She wrestled with this a little. Didn't bother her, she said, but you could tell. Beautiful young lady. Very promising future. If you need help, please reach out. With just a few hiccups in the training at Camp Atterbury, it was time to start packing up, getting ready to head out. Long flight, few stops, and then we're in Afghanistan. We took a civilian aircraft. It took us a few days to get to Kazakhstan with a stop in Shannon, Ireland. Heading into Afghanistan where we're trading our Humvees for MRAPs. A place where young boys were about to become men in some horrific ways. We stopped off in Kazakhstan for a few days, just awaiting a flight to get to Bagram, where we would continue just a few more hours of training and head out to Afghanistan. We're jailed now. We're a unit. The guys from the other units, the tanker unit out of Florence, have become brothers. We're ready. We can do this. Time to go. Finally, aboard a C-17 aircraft, heading into Afghanistan. I'm going to be landing at Bagram Air Base. I'm going to stay there a few days, get ready to head into Ghazni, and do, guess what, some more training. And then we'll be heading out to our new home in Ghazni and start this little adventure. After months of preparation, the time had finally come. We're in a Chinook helicopter, heading to our new home for the next 10 months. For the Preventional Reconstruction Team Security Forces Platoon, we'll be landing in Fob Ghazni. A hell of a place. I'm about to find out in video from the battlefield of Afghanistan during the War on Terror. Thank you for watching. Boots on the ground. We've landed in Ghazni. Security Forces platoon job is to protect the Preventional Reconstruction Team while they do theirs. And PRT Ghazni was led by this man. Commander, now Captain Philip Kapusta, graduated from the U.S. Naval Academy, was married in 1992 and then served in SEAL Teams 2 and 8 during the 1990s, including as an officer in charge of a SEAL platoon and assistant operations officer. He earned an MS degree from the Naval Postgraduate School in Leadership and Human Resource Development. He attended the Command and General Staff College and the School of Advanced Military Studies, and later earned an Executive MBA from the Benedictine College. After graduating from the School of Advanced Military Studies, Captain Kapusta served as Chief of Strategic Plans at Special Operations Command Central as part of a joint planning group, and in 2009 was selected for the Preventional Reconstruction Team Commander. My personal opinion on Commander Kapusta, he's the best officer I've ever served in the United States military. His leadership can't be matched. Coming in a close second was my old company commander from the Marine Corps, Captain David Ottagnon, now a 3-star general. Captain Kapusta has my utmost respect, not only for being a Navy SEAL, but being a wonderful officer to work for. I also want to introduce you to someone else, another very brave individual, combat camera, Tech Sergeant James May. This man went around and did everything we did, but without a rifle, with a camera. We actually had our own cameras running around. This is where almost every picture in this video comes from, and a lot of the videos. He's an excellent photographer and a wonderful airman. It was an honor to serve with him. Forward Operating Base Ghazni, located in the Ghazni province of Afghanistan. We were about 7,000 feet above sea level with mountains around us. Next segments of this video is going to talk about our FOB, the life around it, and then we'll get into our missions. This is a quick flyover of FOB Ghazni. This is our area coming up here in a few seconds. Our motor pool, living quarters, as you see here. The White House was an area where most of the staff lived, the staff officers and staff NCOs, and also used as office space. With a long hallway, the White House made a great place to hold a muster indoors after a rocket attack, which is something that happened frequently. The rocket damage you see was the Air Force Surgery Center's barracks. We'll get into that later. Our motor pool was located right next to the Air Force Surgery Center. Kind of like the TV show MASH, but with the Air Force. Our FOB was a Polish FOB. It was a coalition forces FOB. The Polish had everything. They ran everything. We had about 2,800 personnel on FOB Ghazni, about 400 to 500 American troops. We had a sister unit, the Agriculture Development Team, with a Security Forces platoon out of Texas. Since this was a coalition FOB, we didn't have a PX. We had local merchants that came and lived on the base and sold us whatever we needed. That's where I got my cigarettes. We had a nice little shop. You could buy TVs, electronics, DVDs. A bazaar would come on every once in a while. It'd give you a little more variety on different items you could buy. I sent a lot of stuff home, local clothing, sent my wife some scarves, bought some hats for the guys in my family. FOB life wasn't bad until the rocket started. Like all things, there's downtime, off time. We didn't just sit around the FOB, we found something to entertain ourselves. This was our bomb dog that checked vehicles coming in at the gate from the Polish Army. Barry was his name.
My wife will love this.
He actually got care packages sent from the States. Awesome dog. Just a few clips of our downtime.
That's completely not fair. We need one of them.
I got it. I'm videoing. Here's that Canuck guy. Now. I ain't gonna do it now, I got it on video.
Yeah, he looked at that as well.
The dining facility, the chow hall, where we got our meals. Wasn't too bad. Due to some supply issues, we had some hiccups with some certain things, but we always had a good meal. Always hot. Sometimes it was good, other times it was, well, it was a military dining facility. There was also a small little restaurant on the FOB called the Oasis. It was actually pretty good. decent restaurant. When they would bring out a plate of sizzling chicken, it would smoke up the entire building. Had a small coffee shop. We also had a post office where we got our mail and we could send stuff out.
Our barracks or place we lived in Afghanistan, the B huts, actually wasn't too bad, better than some of the places I've been. I actually did a video of it while I was deployed there. Give you a quick tour of my living quarters on 5 Ghazni in Afghanistan, 2010.
Oh, this is my new home. Maybe what is that? What? A bed? We can have a window. One guy's up there playing cards. And other things. I love you.
This was the hallway of the White House where a lot of the staff NCOs and officers lived. We also had a utility building we called Big Daddy's. We could do everything from recreation, have mission briefings, meetings. We used it for a lot of stuff. It was basically a utility building. But most of the time it was used for recreation purposes during our off time. Great little place. Poker, pool, darts. We had cookouts on holidays. We had some great food there and some great times. Really cool little place to blow off some steam during a deployment. How we called home. Myself, I bought a cell phone when I got there. Could buy minutes off the local little market, and I called home pretty much every day. Other people had opportunities to use the internet and a little MWR building we had, but we also had a very light connection in our B huts, which was very nice. We tried to do Skype, but me and my wife ended up having a problem. We couldn't do it. We couldn't see each other as much. It would freeze up a lot because of our connection. So had a post office for you to receive packages. And we had shower tents for when we got a little too dirty, but you could take a shower and bathe every day, actually several times a day if you wanted to. Our laundry, a little bit different. Every time I went on leave on a deployment, including Afghanistan, you go home, put your wash in the laundry, and it turns the water brown, the clean stuff. You had to put in the little pods or little detergent in your pocket in your uniforms to get the uniforms completely clean. It was run by civilian contractors, Afghans, and they were kind of clean.
And now a word from one of our sponsors, Afghan Construction, brought to you by Specialist Jason Bagwell.
This is also a part of Afghan Construction. As you can see, sandbags are in perfect place. Great stuff, great stuff. I tell you what, I'll take a rocket attack any day, anytime in this concrete. Look here, look. Top notch. Yeah, there's a little bit of sand falling off there, but we can fix that later. Ain't no problem. Got lots of top-notch projects here at Afghan Construction. It's going to be great. If you don't believe in Afghan Construction, you don't believe in me. Everybody believes in bags. So, with that closing, I want you, next time you need a project done, you call Afghan Construction when you need the lowest bidder.
The Ghazni medical team. What can I say? These people are amazing. From when the call comes in on the battlefield, when you hit the fob, they'll take you into the Ghazni Surgery Center, get you patched up and stabilized until they can get you off the Bagram. and they'll get you stabilized, fly on to Longstool, Germany, and then on the way home. Our medical teams were amazing. If you ever seen the TV show MASH, it's kind of how it works. Medics and doctors from the Polish Army, the U.S. Army, the Navy, and the Air Force all combined together, even with a language barrier, and took care of us. They were on call all the time and ran missions with us. They went out and did clinic assessments. They did the regular job we did, and while we were having our off time, they were answering the call all the time, and they ran every time. They never quit. Some of the most amazing human beings I've ever had the honor to serve with. Anyone that was on the medical team in Ghazni. We even had a dentist from the Polish Army. These people were amazing. They got the job done and they took care of us. A lot of times what they reacted to was IEDs. We'll get in that here in a minute. But these people saved many lives. Many, many lives. Proud to have served with them. When the call comes in, the 9-line starts, the medevac goes out, picks them up, brings them back, takes care of them. Thanks to them, a lot of soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines are alive now. They helped out civilian clinics, ran civilian clinics, performed surgeries on civilians, and the Afghan Army, National Guard, and police. Thanks, Doc. Now let's talk about what brought us here. IEDs. Do you see one? There it is. This was in the Dayak district in Ghazni province. It was found by, I think, the Afghan police. We were on our way to the mission, was told about it, and we sat on it until EOD gets there and takes care of it. In this situation, it ended up being 2 mortar rounds with wires leading out to a motherboard hooked to a cell phone, and our jammers took care of that. 2 of our soldiers walked around it and actually walked over the thing. A little miscommunication with the Afghan police. You can see the aiming points here that was set up. That's the IED out in the road. The stack of rocks is where they could see from a distance and have a marker to where they could set off and time it just right. They could pack things all under culverts, bridges, a lot easier for them. But EOD will come out, either blow it in place, or in this situation, the charges were recovered, taken back, and checked, I guess, forensically, and see if they could find out who was placing the bombs. IEDs got a little crazy. We could jam the radio signals, but we also had mine rollers that would go out in front of the vehicles. Your job was to actually find the IEDs. You hook them up, you could control them basically for pressure plates. What a pressure plate is when you drive over it or step on it, it triggers the explosive device. Most cases, it had to be a very heavy vehicle in Afghanistan. That way civilian vehicles could roll over it, and then we would roll over it and it would explode. Or they could be armed. We could go into a village and then on the way out, which was very common, get hit. And sometimes you had to learn how to drive them.
This is what not to do when driving near Constantino wire. And I'm sure the Afghan police is not real happy with us right now.
But things happen. Mine rollers worked very well. They saved a lot of lives in Iraq and Afghanistan when put into use. Another way of setting IEDs off is command detonating. Basically wiring the explosive yourself and setting it off. We have no idea it's coming. But when we track the wires down back to the house that you used to make the IED and then set off the IED, killing a Polish soldier, well, we got something for you. We took care of the IED lab. IEDs have taken many lives and maimed many people involved in the global war on terror. Not just soldiers and military personnel, civilians. Kids find these things. Collateral damage happens. They destroy their own roads and their infrastructure. It's completely insane. But we keep fighting them. When I was in Iraq, we were in Humvees that barely had any armor. We had to build our own and then got armored Humvees. Now we have MRAPs. These things were amazing. Very protective, very tactical, carry a lot of equipment. The only problem is they were very easy to roll over, which ended up being a problem for us later on. How our typical mission went. The night before, we'd have a mission briefing in Big Daddy's, which is extremely detailed. Satellite imagery, weather reports, the chance of getting hit, intelligence reports, anything going on in the country, stack the vehicles the way we need them, have satellite imagery before we going out that tells us where we're going to park our vehicles. It was some of the best pre-mission briefings I've even ever heard of in the military. And it was kind of great. But you wake up in the morning, eat chow, get some coffee, get your trucks ready, and wait around for the convoy brief and head out and do your mission. This is a little bit what goes on before.
I don't want to talk to the media.
We are very happy to be here.
I'm black and I'm proud.
I love my job.
I'm black and I'm proud. It's like a big weekend.
What's your name, soldier? What's your name?
No habla English.
¿Cómo se llama?
I only know one phrase, I'm sorry. What is your name? Bert, Specialist Bert.
And what do you do?
Anything I'm told to.
What are you told to do?
I'm here to help the Afghanis with rebuilding their country.
Well, if you're really rebuilding, then why do you have all those guns?
Protect our people from the insurgents. I ain't got not one insurgent friend. Spoken well by Cat Williams.
Soldier, what's your name? What's your name, soldier? Sailor.
Hey, Sailor. My name is Petty Sapolito. You can call me Dallas. I'm from Texas.
What do you do?
I work on computers and radios. I eat Raisin Bran in the morning.
What's your name, soldier?
Specialist Sean Rigacheski.
What do you do?
Special Forces. Civil Affairs. On PRT Ghaznis.
What's the best part of civil affairs?
Good question. Talking to the locals, of course.
Sounds good. What's your name, sailor?
My name is Don P. Nah, my name is just too bad.
So what are you doing today?
I'm a killer. I'm a killer. I'm gunning today.
Alrighty. What's your name?
Shepherd, specialist.
What are you doing today?
Dismounting.
Dismount.
Yeah.
What does that entail?
I guess I'm a help, you know, with security. That's good.
Shout out to your folks at home.
Nah.
What's your name, soldier?
I'm Bags.
What do
I'll
you
be-
do?
Today I'm a gunner. It's so professional.
I'm showing your webbing.
My webbing? Yeah, I get to kill insurgents if they decide to come out and play.
And who's this?
And also protect the good people of God.
What's your name, soldier?
Sergeant Pellegio.
And what's your job?
Civil affairs.
What do you do?
Go and talk
In
to
civil
people.
affairs.
Mostly go and talk to people, do assessments. That's what we're doing.
She's so cute. Look at her.
He ain't doing that. He ain't doing that. He chilling.
I'm in the rear with the gear.
Chilling. He ain't doing that. It's all because of you. I'm feeling sad.
Your mother side is better.
Hey, do an interview with him. The Fed's looking for me.
You know, we could ruin a little video.
So where are you going?
Hey, 4 months in.
That's OPSEC, man.
That's really classified.
What are you guys going to be doing?
OPSEC.
What's your job?
To drive.
Kill people and break
Whatever he tells me to do.
Yeah, right. Whatever you tell me to do.
Our job is to protect you, man. Look at the camera, Frankie.
That's what Bobby Woods asked on me. We're sitting there.
Where do rockets come from?
Stone will help you out.
Hey, man.
Hi.
How you doing, man?
I'm good.
You working
Just
hard
capturing
today?
all this.
What's going on, man?
What's up, LT?
Hi guys, what you guys doing?
Hanging around waiting.
PCCs and PCIs or something.
Really? Because I just see you holding onto a door.
Well, I gotta make sure that the handle got the pins in it. Good to go.
What are you doing?
Standing around looking at my truck, chatting with these guys until we go on the mission.
You guys ready to go?
And ready as we'll ever be.
Why are you here in Afghanistan?
Where's my card? I am happy to help the Afghanistan people and Jaroa put a face on the country. And
Keep going.
I'm happy to help these people.
Who are these people?
The local inhabitants of this magnificent country who needs lots of nurturing and help and getting their government up and running.
What day is it today?
Thursday, May 27th.
Does that mean anything to you?
Cinco de Mayo.
After a quick convoy brief, any updates? We're heading to the test fire range.
Hey guys, at this time, we will dismount.
You know I'm recording, right? You look cute.
Forgot something. I know.
On YouTube.
We're under fire. Hey, Sergeant Miller.
After test firing the weapons, we head to the gate, turn on the jammers, head out to do the mission. Once getting there, place overwatch, escort personnel out of the vehicles, get them into their meetings or whatever they're inspecting. Army Corps of Engineers, inspecting bridges, any other projects that they had going on, wells, bridges, schools, anything with the infrastructure. A lot of times it was planning meetings with government officials and anybody involved in the infrastructure in Ghazni, Afghanistan, including the governor. This is right after a meeting, how we break down. We'll get back to the file.
Who's in better? I know. Who's in better to have? Yeah. Sergeant Wilson. They didn't want to end the damn thing.
I see that.
They're still going to get the thing going on. Y'all got the recon done already, I take it?
Yeah, we should have been done.
I'm in. Shit, let me unlock the valve. Okay.
How'd it go, Migo?
Him and I.
Alright.
We're back in the vehicles, break overwatch, head back to the fob, hopefully without incident. A boring day. Most of our missions were boring, but some weren't. The next segments of this video is going to cover specific missions and specific incidents that happened in Ghazni. It will be graphic.